What's up, people? We back. Beautiful. You're looking beautiful tonight, my man. How's it going? Well, I didn't think it was possible. There's been a lot of hardship getting there. But ladies and gentlemen, he finally did it. He achieved 10K. He's at 9.9 something right now. He made it. So, congratulations to the YDNA channel. It's been a bumpy road. My prediction is that country although he has been at that 10K point for a little bit, I think he's going to stay around 10K for a while, and YDNA is going to surpass the 10K mark and be looking for his next milestone. But I could be wrong. I think country was a great synergistic relationship, and he brought a lot of new blood in. Now, one question I have is, I've watched the numbers of subs grow slowly on YDNA, but there never really seems to be more than the same 200 people in there all the time. I think if you have something like 10K, there should be a revolving door of all these random people. But YDNA has the same folks in there all the time. And I'm wondering if he really does have 10K. Maybe he purchased some subs along the way. I don't know. I never saw that happen because I would probably recognize like a big jump. But maybe he's slowly buying them as time goes on. I don't know. That's just a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Don't take that seriously. But there's not a big variety of people in the chat. Now that that he's been on Country's network, now that he's been on Country's network, there does seem to be a lot of new blood in there, and that's cool to see. You're right, and I don't want to end my relationship with YDNA. He's got a bunch of my amps right now. What's up, Nurhay? Nurhay, I would mod you, but we got to get to know you a little bit first. So it's exciting. We got 10K, and I think there's going to be like a tipping point here. There's going to be something that's going to break the camel's back, right? And I think, you know what, Nurhay, I would like to mod you, but there is somebody that's an enemy of the channel that also claims to be Turkish, but he's not. So my boss is Turkish. I support Turkey. I think Turkey's really cool how it's got so much in common with a lot of the other Mediterranean countries. Turkey is like ancient Rome in a lot of places, and that's awesome. So I'm giving one of those to Turkey. Oh, we got some other crazy critters in the chat. No more caramel. Well, no more sweet stuff for you, buddy. How do you feel about being immortalized in the ballad, the custom 400? That's one of the best lines in the song. Joanne Greenberg, tossing pebbles at the dream. It just dismisses you so perfectly. Joanne Greenberg, tossing pebbles at the dream. That's a great line. Right on, Enwoke. You know, the only person who didn't like it, even the people who were immortalized in it and dismissed as whatever, even those people, they liked it. The one guy who didn't like it, none other than YDNA himself. And if you try to say, oh, the Custom 400s, that's a cool song, you know, that's a cool anthem for this amp, YDNA himself will then chime in saying, oh, it's okay, you know, it's just AI. Well, hey, sometimes there's funny little accidents that work out like that. And there are some great lyrics from the Custom 400. I'm glad you guys liked it. Well, I'll be right back. Let me check on a pot of boiling water that I'm going to pour down my kitchen sink because we haven't had hot water here, and I'm trying to get the juices flowing, trying to get the sink unclogged. Be right back. Now, that might take a few more minutes, guys. So, okay, remember when this happened? When he said, I got to return these tubes. And I prophetically called it, they're not going to like that. There's certain things that you can't return in the guitar world if you buy them new. One, I know this is a Sweetwater policy. You can't return guitar speakers. If you buy speakers new or used, like open box or whatever from Sweetwater, if you buy speakers from Sweetwater, they're yours. Tubes, very similar. You got to read the fine print. They might have, it's kind of like plane tickets, you know, they might have a more lenient policy about cancellation, or they might not. So, returning tubes. Man, if you're a retailer that sells tubes, you want those suckers to go and stay gone, because nobody has like tube testing equipment, and nobody really knows what the fuck's going on with the tubes. They just want to sell them and hope that the customer isn't going to try them out immediately. I don't know, man. Yeah, they're faulty. Well, a lot of tubes are. And guess what? Most situations, that's a tough cookies. That's what that is. That's just we as the retailer think that this was user error. You know, it can be attributed to the tubes worked when we had them, and we no longer have responsibility over these tubes. But you know what, guys? Here's something else that I can start that can be part of the YDNA movement. All right? Let's think about this for a second. In Britain, they call them valves. I think it's about time for Americans to stop using this silly language of tubes. Tubes. Yo, valves is better. Okay? Can we do a poll in the chat? All right, let me do a fucking poll in the chat. Tubes versus valves. Where is this shit? Oh, here we go. Chat filter, community moderation. Start a poll. Okay. If you like the term valves, click yes. If you like the term tubes, click no. I'm going valves all the way. Oh shit. Here I am. I guess I can't vote in my own poll. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you think grown men talking about tubes sounds kind of silly? Tubes? Bulbs. Bulbs is just as silly as tubes. I'd prefer valves. Oh, we got some tube lovers out there. Guys, this needs to be part of the YDNA path as we redefine guitar and amplifier language, understandings, philosophies. Tubes? Are you kidding me? I'm not a fan of the word tubes. Maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like I'm alone. Tubes. I think it's just as silly as bulbs. Valves, it just sounds, I don't know, more like regular terminologies. Valve reminds you of a pressure valve. Okay. How about Valve Games, who made Quake and Doom and all that? Valve, right? Half-Life, Counter-Strike, Valve. Their branding is just very like simple, industrial, military. Valve. I'm down with that. Tube. Sounds like you're walking into Willy Wonka and the candy cane factory or some shit. Tube land. Nah. We can do better. The village needs to vote Valve, not tube. Okay, let me check on this pot of water. We're neck and neck, ladies and gentlemen. 50-50. Tubes versus valves. If you like valves, click yes. If you like tubes, click no. Amazing. 50-50. Well, I got to say, I know what it's like calling Amazon, and I'm not at all envious of Mr. YDNA right now. It sucks. Now, what they make me do out here is they say, oh, just drop it off at a Staples. Well, there's no Staples office supply stores out here. So they basically come to a stalemate with you and let you return a certain amount of stuff in a certain time limit. Maybe every 6 months they'll let you return $50 worth of stuff. Or it's probably based on how much you're buying of different things. Yeah. So if you're putting a lot of money into their pocket, they might let you return some more stuff. But if you're not buying too much stuff from Amazon, they'll probably say, let's cap them off at $30 returns, $20 returns, and just refund them because it makes no sense for us to pay postage fees getting this stuff back. Well, who do we have in here? We got Offset, we got End. I've heard people refer to End as just End. Maybe I should take a cue from the liberal playbook and ask you, what do you prefer to be called? Maybe End woke? Maybe End? Maybe just insanity. Imagine that. Well, people have taken to just calling you End. You might want to pick something. Well, okay, let's take a little detour here. Meat prices in the United States, maybe worldwide. Meat prices are out of control. All right. Here's something that I've been bringing in to the menu because of the outrageous price. So instead of buying New York strip, instead of buying T-bone, so on and so forth, I've discovered how easy and affordable baby back ribs, baby back pork ribs, and beef ribs can be. So baby back ribs, I can get a good rack, at my American grocery store here for $11, $12. And all I need to do is put it on a metal pan, cover it in aluminum foil. Before that, put dry seasonings on it, cover it in aluminum foil, put it in the oven for like 290 for 2 hours, and then open up the foil, put barbecue sauce on it, broil it on low for like 15 minutes. That's it. So it's just a waiting game. And I can get a good pork baby back rib rack for like $12. And the beef ribs are bigger. I can get the beef ribs for like $14, $13, and they're good too. It's a rack. It's not cut up. And if you went to a restaurant, if you went to a fancy restaurant, you'd be paying like $45, $50 for a whole rack of ribs. Yeah. And it's easy. Just dry rub the thing, cover it in aluminum foil, 2 hours, 290, 280. Take it out, open the foil, put on barbecue sauce, and then broil for 10 to 15 minutes. If you broil on high, look out, because you might crust it too much. It might have some burnt flavorings. But yeah, broil on low and put it on a rack that's lower, away from the broiler. And it's really easy, and there's a lot of food there. And it makes you feel, even though you're poor and meat prices are going up and up and up, it makes you feel like you're having a special meat for dinner. Pretty cool. Offset. This Veleno. Come on, dude. Is it a Temu? You're guilty until proved innocent in the YouTube court of law. Show us this special guitar you have. Go on live with YDNA and show off that special guitar. Guardian, welcome. That's a strange comment, but hey, this channel welcomes eccentric individuals, It's okay. If you go off the regular menu a little bit, we can work with that. Man, we got more votes, and it's neck and neck. What I've been asking is, in the UK, they call them valves. In the United States, they call them tubes. I think the United States should start calling them valves. Because tubes, I don't want to be a grown man and start talking about tubes. Bulbs is also a funny word. I think valves just sounds more normal. And I don't want to say tube twice in every sentence when I'm talking about amplifiers. Maybe we can even start our own new word for it. But valves is a step in the right direction. Am I wrong? I think I'm on to something. Valves is a step in the right direction. I don't like saying tube every other word when we're talking about our hobby. Okay, well, you guys aren't interacting that much. So instead of punishing you and just ditching, I will talk about what we went over yesterday or the day before. Sweetwater has now released their mod shop. Okay? Good night, beautiful. Sweetwater for 200 bucks will add a mid pot to the back of your PCB Fender Princeton or Deluxe. For 200 bucks, Sweetwater's Mod Shop will clip the C19 brake cap on your DSL 401 combo and put a better speaker in. And they're acting like this is a real mod shop. They're acting like they're really doing something. Well, that's Sweetwater for you. Check it out, guys. It's cringe-worthy. The Sweetwater Mod Shop. To the cheapest of the cheap tube amps. They'll cut a brake cap and put a new speaker, steal the old speaker, and then say, oh, yeah, this was modified by our expert amp techs at Sweetwater. Bro, I could do that when I was 15. I'd also probably shocked the shit out of myself on a Hot Rod Deluxe at that time. But I could do that shit when I was 15. That's not a fucking mod shop. Give me a break. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so the Sweetwater Mod Shop, that ain't where it's at. That's kind of like customer service when you call Mojotone after you buy a kit. Yeah, that's like the level of tech at the Sweetwater Mod Shop. Now, I'll tell you this. For the sake of good content, YDNA should be live streaming his conversation right now, or his attempt at a real conversation with Amazon. Because it's like a AI simulating trying to reach a Indian or Philippine call center. And they're just going to string him along. And I don't know. It probably would be entertaining for people to watch that attempted conversation. It's kind of like a Black Mirror episode. It's like a dystopian sci-fi type thing. YDNA, this rocker, um, who has some old-fashioned traits about him, trying to navigate down this AI path. People would find it entertaining if he was to live stream this interaction between him and Amazon AI or Amazon India, Philippine help center about returning 1940s technology that no one even knows about today. If it was a real person involved in the return, they would look at this and they'd be like, "Oh, you bought light bulbs for $500? Okay, welcome, welcome one and all, and please vote in this poll. We're trying to use new language now. I support the use of the term valve instead of tube. Tube is a silly word. Tube. Valve sounds regular. Americans have always used the word tube. And the Brits have used the word valve. I support the Americans ditching the use of the word tube. Please vote in this poll. Valves, yes. The use of the word tubes, no. And please, don't just vote for tubes because I don't like the use of that word. Okay, on to other subjects. Today is a wonderful day for sci-fi because, well, I'm a day ahead of you. But the Fallout Season 2 show series debuts right now. So we got Fallout Season 2 debuting right now. And I've got 3D tickets in a modern theater to see Avatar 3 this weekend. So right now I'm watching that escape prisoner show on um, Apple TV. I just finished the uh, Pluribus on Apple TV, which was good. I'm going to start watching the Fallout show after I watch the Escape Prisoner show, which is number 2 out of 10 popular thing on Apple TV. Fallout is going to be epic. Fuck yeah, dude. Dustin has small dick energy. I don't know Dustin too well, man. You probably don't either. But yeah, I've got fucking 3D tickets to see Avatar 3 in a theater on Saturday here in Korea. That's going to be great. I remember seeing that, the first one. They really sunk a lot of money into the development of the technology to make it look awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Even if the story I find childish or I'm not even really about it, you know, hey, you spend that much money on a production, I'll go watch it. If I'm, James Cameron, Terminator, Aliens, if any of those come out in theaters, I'm going to watch them. Yeah. So, Predator, just watched it. The new Predator is really good. The last one, Prey, even though it kind of had this anti-European sentiment, it was very good. It was great. So yeah, Prey, that's a great Predator movie. The new Predator is great. The new Predator deserves to be watched at a high quality cinema. I watched it at a budget cinema, and I wish I didn't, because I was let down by the picture quality of the projector. I was like, are they going to turn down the lights more? Because it's not refined enough. I'm not seeing a bright enough picture quality on the screen. But no, it's just, that's the way it was. Now, I didn't pay much for it, but I should have gone to a Korean theater instead of one here. Yeah. Yeah, Cameron makes beautiful movies. Absolutely. The Abyss. The Abyss. Watching The Abyss and Terminator 2, yeah, that's some awesome sci-fi experience. Man. So yeah, if you give me something that says Terminator, Aliens on it, um, a couple of different franchises that I follow that go back to the 80s. If you give me a Blade Runner, I'm there in theater, even if it sucks. Well, not even if it sucks. If you sunk a lot of money into making it look good. Yeah. I like production. I like rock production from the different eras. But yeah, when you're just like at this peak production for whatever era you're in, I love it. Yeah, dim projector lamp. Yeah. And the dim lights on the side so people don't trip and fall. I felt like turn those off, but yeah, it's just a shitty projector lamp. It's probably been here for 20 years. Well, Hadley, you know who's returning some glass right now? And you know who bought some glass recently that didn't work out so well? So you might want to come up live about ordering new glass because you need to do it in a very wise way, or you're going to get some stuff that you can't return, it has issues. Oh, you can't return glass. YDNA right now is freaking out because he's being charged hundreds of dollars to return the glass. It's probably a good deal because most other places are just like, nope, if we send you something that doesn't work, fuck you. It came into your possession and we're no longer responsible. I, you make a good point. It does depend on who grabs it off the shelf and packs it. Mm. Well, no, Hadley, YDNA is returning KT88s as we speak, but he's getting half off what he paid. And he thinks that he's being financially abused. What do you have to say about that, Hadley? Hadley, maybe you could offer hope. Since we're talking about James Cameron, aliens, Hadley's hope was a settlement on a certain planet. Hadley says there's no return on vacuum tubes. Well, there is, Hadley. PS Vane on Amazon, if you try to return them, they give you half the money back. That's what they're doing with Andy. Okay, so Hadley says he used to work in a music store and he knows why they're giving the money back because they knew the tubes were no good when they sold them. I respect the comment, but no, this is across the board, man. This is a policy for PS Vane tubes sold on Amazon. This isn't like one little batch. If you try to return PS Vane tubes bought from Amazon, they will do you like they're doing YDNA right now. Is it unfair? Hard to tell. It might be more fair than other tube retailers who will just tell you to take a hike. But it's tough to spend $500 and they say, oh, the product doesn't work? Okay, we'll give you $200 back. Whoa. Well, Hadley, this is the official PS Vane store on Amazon, and they've sunk a lot of money into their marketing on Amazon. My situation was a little different. I bought Mullard 12AX7s on sale on vivatubes.com for 20 bucks each instead of 28 bucks each. And of probably the 15 that I bought, there were a few bad ones. And I was scolded by YDNA because I bought them on sale. And buying them on sale means there's probably something wrong. Could be a myriad of factors. So he's buying them for price from the source. You can't blame him. PS Vane has spent a lot of money on Amazon to look good and in their marketing to look good. You could do that with PS Vane tubes on Amazon, but you would only be refunded half the amount. Does that make sense? Hadley just said, that means I can buy tubes and run my Marshall cranked to 11 and bring them back the next day. Yeah, you could crank your Marshall to 11. Bring a $500 order back to Amazon the next day or 30 days later. And they would refund you half the amount. So Hadley's trying to make a point that these companies buy seconds cheap and sell them. Viva Tubes might do that, but the official PS Vane store on Amazon, which YDNA, Andy Lederman, bought the tubes for the Custom 400, is not some sort of secondhand store. And in the world of KT88s, he made a choice based on information, based on what's being built today. Hadley says if they sold a good product to begin with, they wouldn't be having a refund, nothing. That may be being a part of Amazon. Maybe if you want to join Amazon, you have to do that. Oh, Hadley says, yeah, I believe Viva. Everybody's getting them from New Sensor. Do you think the Russians are going to send their best tubes to America? So maybe this is part of the Russian conspiracy to overthrow America. They send shitty tubes to America so the artists like us can't get inspired and can't write the next Winds of Change by the Scorpions. Right? What's up, Luann? Oh, sorry, Amber. Yeah, they don't want us to write the next Winds of Change because it could overthrow their evil empire. So they send us bad tubes. And then when we try to call them on an AI, Indian, Amazon, or Philippine chat, they say, yes, sir, we will give you back 40% of what you paid. I see what you're saying, bro. All right, well, Hadley's saying if there was better quality control, if they were mashing these, he thinks they're getting everything from New Sensor. And New Sensor is the HQ, is the headquarters of all the bad stuff coming out. So Hadley has a conspiracy theory that all the Russian tube manufacturers in New Sensor are out to fuck America. That they send the bullshit to America. It might be true. He says, believe me, man, they got piles of seconds off the assembly line they don't know what to do with except throwing the trash. Hey, I hear you, bro. I won't comment on America versus Russia. But he says, I'm scared to even buy glass from these companies. Damn. You may have a good point. Well, so Hadley, what about the companies in Europe? Isn't there something in Estonia? Um, what, that's the JJ shit? And they're just not good? Okay, so Hadley's bringing up something that the Russian factory is going to give the best stuff to Russia. Because of 400 is proof right there. What does that mean? Hadley, I like the idea that you're putting out that, hey, if you got a factory and you're making an inconsistent product, and you're in a country that is looked down upon by the rest of the world, you're going to keep the best for you and send out rejects to the rest of the world. Okay, give me one moment. All right, let's see what you guys have been talking about. Um, Viva is not kind of expensive when you're talking about the Mullard 12AX7s for $20 instead of 28. Now they are still tested. There's writing on the packaging, but I don't know. Why were they cheaper? Yeah, so I bought a legacy brand Mullard for $20 instead of $28 per 12AX7 and YDNA. He bought PS Vane KT88s because they've got the best ratings right now.
Oh, it's so cold.
I don't,
Oh, no, it's okay.
yeah, well, what it says on there is not exactly what it is in reality.
It's all right.
They're saying they're gonna do things from 9 to 5, and then for 2 days straight, it doesn't work. 48 hours it doesn't work. Right? So it's like hot water not. That's what the main thing says.
Oh. Is Timex expensive? The watch? Timex?
No.
Okay, good. I asked my dad what the driver likes. He said, get him a Timex watch.
Okay.
And also the other, the carrier.
What does she like?
Timex watch.
Okay.
I don't know why we think.
Yeah. No, it just says. It's good.
What do you got? Spicy, huh?
No. The salad that I made earlier was spicy. Not that. Yeah.
Still 15-year-old. I don't think yours.
I'm not right now.
Why do you want?
And in 1 minute, you can go over there and scoop it out with the plastic spoon with some vegetables. I'm gonna go back to the spoon, but I won't be long. 7:55. Do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me see what you said. I just ate some ribs, baby back ribs, delicious. Salt, aspirin, and CBD oil. Hmm. Well, this topic of valves, it's tough because everything else in the world you want to buy at the lowest price you can get it. You want to get a good deal. But these valves, man, if you spend less, let's say you buy 8 valves and you spend less, you spend 20. If 2 don't work and you could spend 22 per valve and all of those 8 valves work. So you got to weigh it out. It seems like an area where there's a lot of problems with production quality and also people dropping them. Do we have any valve experts out there right now? Is there a bigger problem with production quality or with people dropping boxes of these and damaging? Let's hear the truth about this. Hadley Music, unfortunately, YDNA has commented on this. Their high quality line and their lower quality lines, it's not true. So PS Vane, they say their high quality line, we handpick these out of everything. And these are the peacocks or whatever they fucking call them. Okay? No, because those high quality PS Vane KT88s have a spray paint that would have to be done before manufacturing. So this whole thing about, oh, we're hand selecting these amazing tubes. Nah. PS Vane has spent a lot of money on Amazon to look good and to have like 3 or 4 tier strata of like, okay, give me this money for this. You know, it's like karate. It's like, okay, you're a yellow belt. You're a red belt. You're a purple belt. They do this shit. And it's all the same tube. Absolutely. It's all marketing. And they have a big relationship with Amazon because, as you can see right now, they're giving Lederman half his money back. Most places, if you buy tubes, you get 0 back, right? Maybe I'm wrong. But what are you going to do when you're trying to get this one tube that nobody makes anymore? You know? I guess that's the way it is for all the tubes. You just take a risk, you put your neck out, and let them. That's too bad. So that's what we got going on these days is you can buy 10 tubes. 6 of them will work, and then your project will get fucked up. That's too bad. What's up, Sir Justine? You know anything about tube amplifiers? Man, you guys would be rolling off your seats if you could listen to the conversation Andy is having with the Indian and Philippine AI on Amazon about returning tubes. They do not want your return tubes. That's for damn sure. Well, look, this is kind of there's like 10 people in here. You guys aren't talking about anything. All right. See you tomorrow.